Solution 45, I'm here with my friend Yanni. Oh, did you guys miss some fun before this? Um, we might even tell you about it later. Yanni's all the way in Finland today. Um, I bet your day's gone a little better now because you're laughing.
Yeah,
so,
it's all good. It's all
so
good.
good. So we're going to dive into this. We picked up Solutions 45's new CD. A friend of ours hooked us up. We heard it. We loved it. We had to chat with these guys and find out what's going on. So I guess the first thing is the new CD, Yanni. We heard it took a couple years to get together. You guys were dealing with some family issues and band issues and all that. And the product is out, and it is just a brutal CD. We listen to it. It plays constantly in our world. When you guys got into recording, actually getting into the studio, how long did it take to get this thing going?
Well, we actually started back in 2013, January, I think, when the first pre-production demos were recorded, and yeah, it actually took us a while, but not out of a productional way or aspect. It didn't take us that long to create the actual music and album, but the thing that sort of pushed the deadline further and further away was different circumstances within the band, with family members, with among one thing, Patrick's, our guitarist, dad passed away in 2014, and some relatives to Christian passed away, and deaths and just sad, tragic events that happened. Then births of several kids.
Nice.
I had a daughter in February 2015, and Christian had his newborn son now in August, and both positive and tragic things that just affected the process more so than the creational process in itself.
Well, that's life, and good things, bad things, they always have a way of coming out of left field, just shaking your world up. So I
Yeah.
definitely understand all that stuff. Now, how many tracks do we have on this thing? If I'm correct, is it what, 13, 14?
It is. Yeah, I think it's 10.
Okay, because I know my stuff goes deep. I think there's something other than that. But next question, where am I going to find it? I mean, I have my copy. But for those people,
Yeah.
where could they pick this up right now? Are we on the CD Baby, iTunes, all the normal places?
Yeah, the digital places are the normal usual: Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, streaming services, and then our record label AFM has their own channels in the States. But I'm actually not that sure more about the details, which stores and whatnot. But I know that we have a decent distro
For the digital.
distribution over there, and I think well-equipped CD stores will keep it in stock, and then you can always order it directly from the label web shop, and
And what
even
about
if you can't,
what
yeah.
about the band's website, Solution 45? Can we get it right from your guys' site?
Actually not. The label is handling all the selling. We might put up some special things with signed copies and that kind of thing, but that's only limited a few copies that the band will purchase and sort of give away, or some special things like that. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, last thing about this, if we go on your website, would there be a link to the label itself? The label site.
I presume. I think so. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because if not, I'll make sure that there's a link down here to the label site itself, because we definitely want to
Yeah.
make sure we could direct them to that, because some people got to have that hard copy as well as just
Of course.
the digital stuff.
Of course.
So we want to make sure they get that. Now here's something. We have you here, but who else is in the band that it isn't here today?
We have Christian Elvestam, of course, on the vocals. Then we have Patrick Gardberg on guitar lead, besides me. And then we have Rolf Pilve on drums at the moment. So no bass player so far.
Well, that's just because you haven't found the right piece. But you know, the more
Yeah,
people that start listening to this, I'm pretty sure you're going to have a lot of people knocking on your door going, hey, I'd love to fill that spot. Hopefully I can. Um,
of course. Hopefully.
Now, we heard a little rumor you guys played the States a while back. Is that true?
Yeah, actually, we played at Prague Power in Atlanta 2012.
Oh, how did that turn out?
It was awesome, man. It was really good, fun event, very well organized, and we were just stunned with the response we got from the crowd. And you know, there were people. Some came all the way from Japan just to see us, and some came from Canada. You know, and it was a bit overwhelming to find out that there were actually some really devoted fans that have been just waiting for us to enter the stage, and you know, you didn't quite know what to expect. We hadn't played any shows previous to that, and it was a while since the debut was released. You know, 2009, I think, or 2010, and then you played 2 years after, so you had no idea what kind of response, or yeah, nothing like that. So it was just an overwhelming experience, and gave us just more, you know, an urge to get to do that more, and give something back to the fans who appreciates us.
Well, you know, I bet it was a great thing. And as I said, as soon as this thing's complete and you find that right missing link is in the bass player, we can't wait to see the band. Hopefully, you get back here to the States. We were talking earlier about some stuff. We have some friends that do the Metal Fest, so we're going to make sure we hook them up with the info. And with a little luck, at the very least, they'll play a Vegas date. But we want to get them around the country because you guys want to see that. Now, here's something. Being in your part of the world and playing that style of music, is there a big demand for it over in Finland?
The scene is quite big, actually. Although it is seen. I was born and raised in Sweden, so I lived there for over 20 years, and somewhat 10 years in Finland. And the countries, the northern countries, Norway, Sweden, Finland, they're quite similar within the society and the structure, you know, and everything. And although the metal scene is, I would say it's quite big, but it's at the same time maybe viewed as a sort of underground. Uh, you know, those who likes the music style, you know, loves it, and there's a lot of them. But at the same time, it's not. Do you understand what I mean? It's not, you know, this major.
It's not mainstream, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, and many people who know, you know, almost nothing about the musical style, they might think that it's all, you know, weird, suicidal, you know, people with a death wish, or very dark, sad people or something. But
Well, that's just, you know, that's people that don't know. And, you know, I could
yeah,
probably say that about any style of music. If you were
yeah,
someone that didn't know anything about it and heard something, you're either going to like it or not like it. So, you know, I kind of really don't worry about those kinds of people. I look at the
yeah,
people that like whatever I'm doing, and if they
yeah,
approve, then obviously I'm doing something right, I hope.
yeah.
And if not, but again, we've heard the album. We know it's brutal. I know the American fans are just going to eat this stuff up and just truly, truly love this. I guess one of the last questions I really need to ask, and probably one of the most important questions, what
Mhm.
might we have left out of this interview that they need to know about Solution 45?
What do you need to know? Well, those of you who thought that we only did one album, you better check again. We're definitely here to deliver some good quality music, and Then another rumor that I see a lot over the famous internet is that we're seen as a studio project, and that's definitely not true as well. We're to be considered as a live band. There's just things that haven't worked out that well in the past, and we're hopefully gonna change that. And I think we have done something special with these albums, and hopefully the people who find a copy will appreciate it as much as we did making it. You know, it's been a blast.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they will. Now, here's something. We hear yourself and a few other people in the band are sponsored. Let's give them some love. Who's nice enough to show you guys some love?
Well, I myself have been negotiating with different brands just in past year or so. I've been trying to find a good sponsor to my needs. I've been always using Ibanez guitars, and that's one of their brands. And together with Mesa Boogie, which is one very, I think, one of the most strong options that I'm having on the table right now. And then there's been Schecter and Jackson on the table for me as well. But then I've been lucky to have long grain pickups on my previous guitars, and nothing but good to speak about those. They're awesome picks, but I'm actually about to change to a bare knuckle endorsements. Company UK, which is right on the edge, I think, at the moment, and fantastic pickups, just so perfectly suited to the 7/8 string sound that we're using in Solution 45. And what else? Steinberg for the productional ways, all the softwares we use when we record, and also a heavy user of TuneTrack, sponsored by them, and awesome tool when you do the pre-productional drums, you know, and everything. There's very few that have the luxury to be able to record real drums when you're doing pre-production of the songs. So that's technology is awesome these days.
Yes, it is. Now, I hear
Yeah.
your drummer's lucky enough to have a couple endorsements.
Yeah, and the drummer is endorsed by Pearl, and he recently made a custom kit for himself together with Pearl drums, and if I remember correctly, he's sponsored by Paste Cymbals, and then a Finnish company who does the drumsticks called Ballbecks.
Nice.
Yeah, and might be that he was also sponsored by Remo the Heads, but I'm not quite sure. I should have been more doing my homework.
Well,
You're
you know, that's
you're
tough.
actually the first one who's ever asked about the sponsors, so.
Well, you know what it is. We look at it this way. If they're nice enough to show you some love, we got to make sure that they get it in return, because getting a sponsorship or an endorsement deal is not the
Yeah.
easiest thing in the world. And to me,
Yeah.
I know what it is, and you really got to show the love back. And we want to make sure everyone knows. Hopefully, if we bump into Balvic, if they're up at NAB, we'll stop by and we'll say, hey, Solution 45 told us to stop by and check you out.
Cool.
So we definitely love that. Now, here's something for you. Generally, when we wrap stuff up, we do this during our live interviews, but we started to do it with these, and they kind of work out somewhat fun. We have a little game we call Roll the Bones. I
Alright.
have, let's see, there's your camera. I have now a 30-sided dice. Used to be 20,
Okay.
but we found this monster.
All right.
We have 30-sided, we have 30 pre-selected questions.
All right.
I think 4 or 5 of them even deal with music.
Cool.
You up for playing?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Well, 1 roll for you, 1 roll for me. Obviously, I can't hand it to them in Finland, so I'll just
Yeah.
roll for them. And you have the number 2. Okay, we could do that. Age when de-virginized.
That was, I think I was 17 or 18.
There you go. I think we asked somebody, and the answer was him, 1946. And I was like, holy shit. Okay, I have the lucky number 17. Well, that's a fun little question, too. The question is, why? And I just go with the simplest answer of all. Why not? So we didn't get into anything brutal. Again, we have some fun new ones here when we upped it to 30. That will happen. You will get some of those. But I guess for me, for Yanni in Finland, for Solution 45, and for Buzz TV, we pretty much wrap this sucker up. Remember, get that new CD. You'll find it CD Baby, iTunes, all the normal places. There's links right down here. So if you're watching this on your free iPhone or Android app, jump over to the site, hit the link. It'll get you to Solutions 45's Facebook page, get you to their website. There'll be a link to the label, so if you want a hard copy, you'll find that sucker there. But the most important thing, check them out, give them a listen. Once you do, I could pretty much guarantee you're going to be chasing down a buy button somewhere trying to get that CD, because this thing is just in-your-face, brutal, aggressive, non-stop, destructive metal. We love this stuff from you guys. And with a little luck, you're going to catch them on the road soon. And bass players, if you're looking for a gig and you can hang, you might want to give Yanni a jingle here or there. Hey, Yanni, I really appreciate everything. Say hi to the fellas for us. And, you know, as soon as something pops, we're always going to be in touch with these guys. So as soon as we could, you know, say they're coming to wherever it is, if it's in Europe, the States, wherever they jump to, you know, I'd say hold your breath, because it won't be that long before I see these guys on the road soon. Yanni, I appreciate everything.
Yeah, awesome.
You know,
let's hope for that.
Oh, we know it's going to happen again. When you want it that bad and you're as good as you guys are, it's not going to be that hard. But again, we appreciate everything. For Yanni, Solution 45, Buzz TV, Finland, and the U.S., we're out of here, guys. See ya.